Hi.
What's up?
What you doing?
I'm trying to just figure out any little B-roll type shots I can get of Bertrand and his set before I put it away for a while. I'm kind of hoping that this little dolly that we have will do some more cool stuff, which this isn't so bad. Don't know when I'll use a shot like this, but it's not so bad. We have this tiny dolly that is just skateboard wheels on a metal frame. And we never use it because most of our cameras are big like that one over there through a different setup I have going. So I figured why not try to get the most out of it. Especially since I spent so much time on this set, I may as well try and get good shots to go with it.
Well, the entire joke of the Bertrand bit is that it's overwrought for as much of the video as it takes.
Yeah. I had time on my hands.
This is true.
And limited resources that demanded I use time if I wanted. That would be...
Oh, that's clever how he just kind of stays center. Like you said, I don't know what we need such a shot for, but...
I wonder if it'll actually autofocus. Let's see. So I leave it on manual for that shot. It's trying. Not really gonna work.
Yeah, especially when macroing the camera has a really shallow depth of field.
Well, it doesn't.
Which looks nice.
It doesn't help that I don't have a card with the firmware to make for more video options on it either. Magic Lantern.
I think I have that. I think it's on my desk, in fact.
The card.
Yeah.
One of us has it somewhere. This is some Beauty and the Beast stuff at the moment. Probably doesn't matter because I can't get that full circle without the set showing up. I guess I'll just move this.
We should have just a tiny boom mic in the shot occasionally.
I mean, I could probably make one. I think I have some black Sculpey at least.
No, we just use one of our existing lavalier mics
Oh.
on a stick.
Well, those are kind of fat for a tiny boom mic.
That's true. It would be a shotgun, not a...
I mean,
Oh.
I'm sure one of our old ones might work. I've done more overwrought things. Like, you were a little astounded that the books are actually books.
Astounded is not exactly the right word. It's more
Miffed.
that... They're the ones on the table, it makes sense. But the ones on the shelf...
are also books.
They don't need pages. You could do like a rich person's library where they're just covers and there's no, well, I guess really rich people just have books that they never read. But I meant like, you've seen like old personal libraries. I cannot, every time I walk behind the set, I knock down is this an Acrocanthosaurus? It is. This Acrocanthosaurus. So I really just need to move it to a different shelf.
We do need to figure out a new spot for the table further out.
True.
The room is a little messy right now because we were moving stuff around the entire basement around. So...
And the camera does not have a very wide lens on it.
No, it doesn't. We just need to reorganize and pull the table back out. Which we did finally paint.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell, because it's still brown.
Did anybody comment on how the table is one color in the intro and then a different color in the video?
No.
Hey.
I don't think so.
They were distracted by the Bertrand set.
We did have a few people who were apparently sad Bertrand wasn't in the opening and then he was in the next segment, so I guess it's good that I plan on doing as many openings with Bertrand in different environments as possible. The next one may be more involved than this one.
More involved, you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. It might take some research on my part for some accuracies. Not that I've worried very much about being accurate here.
I don't know. Did people get the reference?
Yeah, a couple did. A couple even recognized that it was more Monsterpiece Theater from Sesame Street than actual Masterpiece Theater. But, like, the most accurate I got with anything here was putting the scrolls how you told me to, which was pointing outwards instead of laying across the whole shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm really proud that the Tinosaurus that we've had in the one episode, Velociraptor 0.5, worked out how it did.
That does look really appropriate.
I just glued some legs to it because I had extra spindles left from making tables.
Stop running into dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Also, we had a ton of Etsy orders, so you've also been filling those.
Yeah. We still have a ton of Etsy orders, I just don't have to have any ready for a few days.
I see.
Which is good because it'll take a few days and I'll probably work on that after this. You should talk about why we did these dinos for the opening.
In the new intro, right?
Yeah. Let me see. Here you go.
So, well, the biggest constraint was I needed the new intro not to take as long as the outro, because the iguanodon walking animation took like a month and a half, and I didn't want the episode to be delayed another month and a half while I made some kind of weird overwrought animation for the opening. So I stuck to dinosaurs that I had art for already, and I wanted the general idea of the opening to be, I look at the one and it's got a couple of changes, and I look at another one and it's got a lot more changes, and I look at this one and it's the worst thing I've ever seen, and the changes fill the screen, and then that transitions to the actual title, which is exactly how that worked out.
So did you just have the most art for like these two here, or?
Well, I had a decent amount of art for Stegosaurus because we just recently did that. I guess it's been a couple of years, but we did an episode about Sophie the Stegosaurus. And then Deinonychus being a dromaeosaur, we have a decent amount of stuff for, even though the episode itself didn't have a lot of unique animations. And then Styracosaurus is our second longest episode as far as I know, so I definitely had stuff for that.
So what else you been working on?
Well, like you, I'm working on like random might be necessary stuff. Like I added some colors to the transitions and pop-ups that we use. I made a new transition that'll show up in the next video. I've mostly just been researching for the next two things we want to do, which is a follow-up to Velociraptor to clarify or correct some things that we got wrong, and a Amargasaurus. I've been researching Amargasaurus on and off since before we even shot Velociraptor, but now I'm trying to actually make it into a show.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot shorter than Velociraptor. But,
as long as more research doesn't keep coming out that affects the video.
that was fun. So, like, it's a good thing we didn't shoot it yet, because earlier this week,
Monday, I think.
probably, earlier this week we had a paper about the sacrum, the part of the backbone that's in the hip of sauropods. They basically found that instead of the hip being like this, the hip was like this. So it meant that, so you know how in everything was ruined.
Eh.
So you know how in Macronarians we usually portray them with, you know, a sloping upward back, so with the entire torso is elevated, whereas in Diplodocids or basal eusauropods, or eosauropods, I've only seen that word written, but the ones without long arms, we usually portray it as either gently sloping down, well, this one's got splayed front limbs, so it's not a great example, but or basically straight across. this study finds that even diplodocids and their relatives would have a, not as extreme, but a gently angled upwards back. And they couldn't look at a Margosaurus specifically. I think, like, we do have a sacrum for a Margosaurus, but it seems like the researchers were mostly concerned with stuff that they could themselves get their hands on. But they had Dicraeosaurus, so I have to look up now to what extent the vertebrae of Dicraeosaurus are similar to the vertebrae of a Margosaurus, and then we can say whether the unique things that are happening with Dicraeosaurids in that paper apply to a Margosaurus as well. I would assume that they do, but I don't know yet. And I'm going to be vague about it so that you're teased into watching the episode to find out what those unique things are. Even though you can probably guess if you know anything about a Margosaurus.
So you just left a very mellow cliffhanger?
Plus, I mean, the article is open access, so it's not like you can't go out and look this up. We could probably even provide a link. The kind of person who cares and has not come across it yet.
Holding a camera on you makes me realize how much shorter I am than you.
I don't know what you mean.
You have a constant hero angle.
I'm definitely not like a head and a half taller than you. That's what I got.
Okay. That's what I've got other than that, which was shooting the reveal of a Margosaurus, which people should have just seen unless they skipped ahead for some reason. But yeah, I got nothing else other than like maybe some bloopers. Can I show people bloopers?
Yes, you can show people bloopers. We used to tack them on the end of the video, but now with the way end cards work, I don't think we can do that.
Yeah, it creates some confusion and graphic design problems.
Or we could do the Pixar thing where they're just off to one side. Although Pixar fakes their bloopers anyway.
Here's some bloopers.
It was quite the expedition, and I can go into this level of detail because it was extensively documented. The archive.org has thearchive.org. Look at me, I'm showing my age. I did an ngram search of raptor and some related terms, and I found that raptor was really unpopular before Deinonychus. Pardon. There's so much information trying to come out. They divided their attention between Geoducta Formation and I like how I forgot what the Nemegd Formation is. These are the things that my brain does. Oh no, I'm gonna have to call back to that because there's other comparisons to turkeys in here. We're gonna have to, this is gonna be Your Dinosaurs Are Wrong, episode 24, 6-foot turkey. Wait till I talk about carnuncles, oh no. Caruncular flesh.
Well, it's not like we could avoid talking about the movie anyway.
I know. I do hope by now that I don't have to belabor it over much that these were definitely feathered animals. Even if we did not have direct evidence of feathers on them, we would be able to infer from feather impressions on related animals
So it's totally pointless to even tell you in reference to this episode, but in the new DuckTales, Darkwing Duck is a show they watch in universe.
But Darkwing Duck's sidekick is a character from DuckTales.
Yeah. I think he's still in the new DuckTales too.
Right, is he in the show?
I think
In the
so.
show?
The guy who
I do need to watch that.
whatever.
I watched the first episode. The weird thing about it to me was that Huey, Dewey, and Louie just sound like normal human children. They don't have that sound going on.
I just thought it was funny. It's like, who even knows Darkwing Duck anymore? But it might amuse me to find out that little kids just know it as that show in that show.
This is possible. For
Anyway.
those following along at home, the Shadow is a very old superhero who Darkwing Duck is a pastiche of.
Well, and Batman.
Batman less so. Batman definitely has shades of him, just having the cloak. Well, now that we're off the rails, I'm gonna take a drink. As you can see on this toy, they've accurately portrayed that the fingers are burping. I don't know why I'm so burpy. I'm sorry, excuse me.